This right here was this was a blast to break down. So you're going to get his sacks. He finished the year with 3 sacks, I believe it was. He finished with 11% pressure quarterback pressure percentage. But the other thing here that I really want you guys to key in on is the run stops, the run defense, because that was something he did somewhat excel at. And again, PFF graded him extremely low in run defense, if I remember correctly. But we're going to start at 75%. Once again, right here, you're seeing kind of a wide 9, wide 7 look. You know where he's lined up. I like to focus in on the defensive alignment. What do you got here, guys? You've got Devontae Wyatt in the 3 tech, right here. And then you got Carl Brooks playing the 2, right? So, again, a 3 and a 2 out of the nickel, 4-2-5. Gary's in a wide 9. And then, of course, you got LVN in a wide 9. Let's watch him spill this play. So, look at him go outside, right? Rushes up the field. Look at how Wyatt's kind of playing that touch spy on this play. You see him? And now watch our boy LVN wash out. Gary gets his hand on Will Levis. Will Levis tries to scramble, and look at this.
Hercules.
See?
And let's talk about the fact that LVN got washed out, like you said, but he never fell to the ground. He never really lost his feet.
Never stopped. That's that motor we're talking about, man. Again, watching him rush. And he took the edge. He beat his guy like a damn drum.
Yep.
Right? And then Will Levis thinks, okay, I'm going to get – no, you ain't, bub. Ain't going to happen. And again, watch Devontae Wyatt. Some people would see that ref and go, man, Devontae Wyatt, he can't get no push. That's a touch spy, guys. Look, they're running a little TT, but look how Wyatt's just kind of lagging back. He's protecting that rush lane. Yep. If he tries to split that double team right there, Will Levis is up and out of the pocket here, right? But you see him just kind of holding that gap, and, of course, LVN finishes.
And Carl Brooks was kind of doing that same thing there. He was kind of back and forth on that twist. He was, once they twisted, all right, you're on left side hold, I'm on right side hold, Devontae. And look at, you see Devontae Wyatt take off with this full sprint to angle him off? Look at that. Oh.
Dude, I'm telling you, he is a hell of an athlete, Devontae Wyatt is. Like, I'll never forget.
I didn't catch that the first time, man. He took off. He was ready to kill Will Levis there.
He was the best guy around.
You didn't catch that because you were up there in the air conditioner getting you another whiskey at the game. I know why you didn't catch that in real time.
That's very true.
Nah, but again,
another banana.
I love it. You didn't see a whole lot of this last year.
No.
But you'll see they actually had the edges pin their ears and take the outside here. And then you got that TT in the middle, that torch, some folks call it. Right?
That was that. I think that was the one where we saw the clip afterward, Rashawn Sellian, because, hey, LVN got there. We love that. And he goes, you got me that one, Rashawn.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next, let's see the alignment here. This is one of my favorite plays here, man. This against the 49ers, right? So, again, 0 tech, 2, 4. Where's LVN at? Call it a 6 or a 6I, right? So he's over top of Kittle is where he's lined up right now. So again, this is your base 4-3, 1, 2, 3 linebackers, right? So you're in a base 4-3. You're playing what I would consider an over here, where you got the weak side of the formation because your traditional Y is over here over LVN. Your weak side is a 1, and then you got a 3 tech on the strong side. Okay, but it's funny because you don't have LVN kicked outside playing a 7. He's playing a straight up 6. Boys, Christian McCaffrey, hell of a football player, right?
It's been said he's a hell of a player, yeah.
I want you to watch what LVN does to this poor kid, all right? Watch LVN and watch what he does to Christian McCaffrey, all right? They're going to bring Juszczyk over. Look at this. Throws him out of the damn club.
Oh.
How awesome is that?
And gets to the quarterback, too.
Yeah. Again, watch it. Beats the puller there. Was that puller? Was that actually Jordan or our boy Aaron Banks? What number was Aaron Banks?
77? Like? Is that Banks?
I don't know if it is or not. I can't remember. Regardless, though, he didn't expect LVN to get in the backfield that quick, and Christian McCaffrey had a handful. Look at that.
No, Banks was 65.
Was he? Okay, so he's definitely playing left guard right here. So he's just trying to help hold up. Pretty good rep there, actually.
Yep.
Look at that defense, though. I mean, it's going to be different next year. You go ahead and pause it. You got TJ Slayton. You got McDuffie out there. You got Anibari out there. You got Eric Wilson out there. I mean, it's going to look different this year.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a lot of fun to see LVN in year 2 of being the guy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right.
I think he'll take a step forward. But you see him. I mean, he beat 2 blockers there, right? That's essentially what happened, and gets the strip sack.
Yep.
And look at Kenny too, just that veteran presence. As soon as the ball comes out, he knows get on the ball, boys, get on the ball.
Let me tell you, good work there. I just saw this at the end. Quay and Zay McDuffie here. Great work by our linebackers.
Mm-hmm. That poor quarterback, man. All right, moving along. So that was sack number 2. Next, you've got against the Dolphins here. Was this Thanksgiving night? Am I thinking right, fellas? I think it was.
I believe so. Yeah.
So sometimes in our nickel 4-2-5, what they like to do, there's your 2 linebackers. We like to go with a little bit wider spread up front. So you got a 4 and a 4 tech, right? And then you got your wide 9s out here, which I really do like this. And sometimes
especially when they're in the open, though, Clay, right? Especially when they're 5 wide, you don't have the back in the backfield to worry about. Yeah, you got to worry about the QB run, but always.
Yeah, completely agree. Let's see what LVN does right here as he lined up in that wide 9. Just driving. Look at the kick. I'm telling you, man, eyes in the backfield. He recognizes. Watch when he recognizes. While he's engaged with their left tackle, he recognizes Tua stepping up. Nope,
he goes,
put it back in.
Yeah, he recognized, whoa, Carl Brooks, what are you doing right next to me, man? Let me get back over to your spot real quick and
right.
take that.
And notice LVN's feet never stop moving. Even at contact, never stop moving. Then the hand fight to get off. I mean, he never stops his feet ever.
Real quick, just running back to the beginning. Watch Kenny Clark on the left side just olay this poor guard. Whoop. Oh, my good God.
And you
notice him look at this.
And watch how Kenny does not drive toward the quarterback. This is what we're talking about. He's protecting.
He went flat-footed 3 times right there.
Yep. I'm telling you, man, they called it all year. That when you guys hear us say touch spy, this is what we're talking about. Watch how Kenny does this right here. He's just kind of waiting for the quarterback to try to scramble.
Completely different than Carl Brooks right into his right. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Completely different.
I love how the same guard that he olayed, he also chips at the end of the play, occupies both.
Yeah. Ooh. And then Gary coming in at the end and just a half a second later than LVN, right? So another strong rep there from LVN. All right, here we are against the Eagles. So let's see what we got in terms of alignment. You got TJ Slayton in this time, right? You've got our boy let's see what Coach Lynn says. LVN just has to learn one more move besides the bull rush, and he'll be cooking. Completely agree.
I think he's almost there, right? We saw that with the hand fighting, right? Yeah. His hands are getting better. The feet are moving. I think he's almost there. I really do.
As long as that thumb's healed, go full tilt with it.
Yeah. So we got Xavier McKinney playing a little spur, right? And you'll notice you've got TJ Slayton, I believe that is, right? 93.
Yep.
You got him playing the 1. You got Carl playing the 3 tech this time. Okay. And it's important to mention because it seems like when you talk defensive tackle rotation, there's multiple levels to that, right? Like the main rotation last year was Kenny in the 1 tech, and we're talking nickel 4-2-5. Kenny in the 1 tech, and then we would put Devontae Wyatt in the 3. And again, that can bleed over to a 2-eye and to a 4-eye type look, right? But Kenny Clark 1, Devontae Wyatt 3. And then when Kenny came off the field and Devontae Wyatt was on the field, they would put Carl Brooks in the 1. They would put keep Devontae Wyatt in the 3, right? And then when both of those guys are off the field, they would put TJ Slayton as basically the 3rd string 1 tech in our nickel 4-2-5, which I'm just going to be honest, I disagreed with because I thought TJ Slayton was way better at rushing the passer than he got credit for. I want to say he finished with an 8% pressure rate, which is pretty damn decent for a traditional nose tackle style player. But then you kick Carl over to the 3 when you got TJ Slayton in at the 1, right? So I just want to point that out. And on this particular rep, we're focused on LVN. You'll notice he is lined up again in the 6 tech over top of the tight end. Let's see what happens here. I think this is a running play. Yep, so they're going to run a little inside run. Look at LV and engage with Goddard. Now, I know there's some people within the local Packers media that suggest that LVN gets blocked by tight ends. Watch him on this rep here. Get the hell off me, boy. Tackle. I mean, just holding the point of attack against that tight end, you could tell it's not what people are saying that he's just being stood up and blocked by tight ends.
What are you supposed to do on the end on a run play? You're supposed to contain them. You better turn that thing back inside or else we're going to have a problem.
Yep. Block, hold at the end, fighting through a hold as well.
Yeah. So, again, pretty strong run rep there. All right, moving along now. Isaiah McDuffie plays a run pretty damn good, too, by the way. He's pretty aggressive.
Yes, sir.
All right, next play. This is against the Indianapolis Colts. What kind of alignment do we have here? So now we've got – it looks like this is an interesting look. They got Kenny playing the 2. They got Wyatt playing the 3. So you see what we're saying there with the Kenny closer to the nose than Wyatt. I believe this looks like Preston Smith maybe.
Yep.
It's gonna be
he looks so awkward going down in a 3-point stance.
I know it. I bet he felt awkward too. That's why he said, "Well, y'all trade me already."
Yeah.
So he played in the 4 right here, and then you got LVN in the wide 9, right? You've got our boy McDuffie on the line of scrimmage playing or showing a wide 9. Whether he brings it or not, who knows? But let's watch how the play develops here. So again, even though it's a 4-3 defense, or in this case a nickel 4-2-5, it almost acts like a 3-4 jam that we ran under Joe Barry, right? You got someone who's close to a 0. You've got 3 other down linemen. There's 5 on the line of scrimmage is essentially what it comes down to, not counting the safety. But again, key in right here on LVN on this run rep. Look at our boy get back there. That's that athleticism, man.
And speed. A little bit of wheels there, too.
That's that 4.6 40 in his underwear at the combine, Tim.
Yes, sir.
You get that.
You can't be running power like that if you got that sort of speed on the edge, and you're not going to be really leaning into that read option. I mean, at that point, pull it. I mean, you got to pull it. If that dude's crashing that hard, LVN did, you got to yank that. But it's set up as a power, it's over.
Yeah, yep. He should have stole that pulling offensive lineman's towel. That would have been hilarious. Yep. Steal his towel from behind and then just tackle the running back. But yeah, hell of a rep there by LVN. You see what I'm saying with LVN? Like you look at the PFF grades, you go, oh, he's horrible. And then we turn around, you go to the NFL Pro, and you find he had a higher pressure percentage than TJ Watt, right? 11.8. So his pressure percentage went from 8-something into the 11s, right? Up to 11%. And you're seeing these run D reps where his presence being felt. The problem is he's not on the field enough.
Yep.
That's it.
That's going to end this year, though, right?
It's got to, Tim. It's got to get up there with Gary at 50%.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Unless Brenton Cox Jr. takes another step and they're going, man, there's no way we can keep this dude off the field. I don't think it'll get to that point. But all right, so on this rep, Carl Brooks, once again, pterodactyl, 1 tech, right? And then you've got Devontae White. I think that's Kobe Wooden in it. The 96
yes.
Might be Kobe Wooden, but he's in the 3 tech. Okay. Some would say a 4-eye. I could see that too, but we're splitting hairs at this point. They got Gary over here playing a 6 essentially, and then of course we got our boy LVM. Will probably be a 7 tech. Let's watch the play here. It's going to be a running play to Kyron Williams. Pretty damn good running back, right? Now look at LVN taking on the block, right? Block, shed, make the tackle. Looks a lot like that Philly rep, doesn't it?
Yep.
Again with the hands, too.
Mm-hmm.
Hands and feet keep moving the whole rep.
I'm trying to think. Was his thumb wasn't broke at this point, was it?
Doesn't look like it.
I don't see that black cast on it.
Yeah. Looks like he's got a wrist wrap. That's about it.
Yeah. Love the swim move there, too, right? Just swim over the top, make the tackle. All right.
That's good work.
All right, let's move along to the next play. We've got looks like a nickel 4-2-5 here. We got Enigbore wide 9 right from the offense's perspective for everybody on the pod there. We have got our boy, once again, Carl Brooks playing the 1 tech, Kobe Wooden playing the 3 tech, LVN now playing the 6. All right, let's key in on LVN. Again, this should be another running play to Kyron Williams. We'll toss play. LVN at the point of attack. This is what we noticed earlier. Look at the eyes in the backfield, right?
Extend, get your hands free.
Swim off.
Get him.
There's a tackle.
And that tackle's been having a rough day against LVN, man.
Mm-hmm. So that'd be a fun game to go watch, is watch LVN's reps against the Rams for sure.
He's got such length too. You don't. I mean, he's got that wingspan enough. He punches him. He jammed that lineman back. I mean, the dude lost 1.5 yards right there.
What is this guy doing over here on the ground anyway?
That's that Tetris. You know what I mean? That
is that Tetris. Yeah. Watch what he does to this tackle. Get your ass on the ground. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get out of here, boy. Bang.
Love it.
All right. Next rip. As a fumble, by the way. McKinney said, I'm a house this, and 69 said, no, you ain't, sir. All right, up next we got the Texans game, right? Here we've got we're in our 4-3 look, right? You got Eric Wilson playing Mike. You've got Cooper playing Sam and McDuffie playing Will.
It's going to be so different this year. Preston on the right side and the wide 9 too. That's going to be crazy.
And then we got LVN playing that 6 tech again. Again, on the front, you've got Kobe Wooden playing the 2I, and I can't tell if that's Devontae Wyatt or not, but someone there playing.
Carl Brooks.
Carl Brooks playing the 3.
Devontae.
Yeah. All right, let's watch LVN on this rep. Should be a running play. Joe Mixon. LVN fighting through 2 blocks. Mm-hmm. Again, shoves the tight end into another county.
Sit your butt outside.
A pulling tight end as well.
And he was the point of attack too, right? That guard's looking for LVN, but what he did was he stayed in the hip pocket of that tight end and then smushed that gap, and it kind of disappeared. If he had engaged straight up field, no, you got to smush it, come down with them, and then blow up, take on 2 blockers, split them, make the tackle.
Yeah. Yep. Got us a question here. Let's answer that real quick. Chase Green, good to see you, buddy. Says, hey, Clayton, what's the difference between over and under fronts? What front does Van Ness play better in? I don't think he plays particularly better in either front, but when you're talking about an over or an under, in this case, you're in a 4-3 look, right? This is the perfect snap to do this. I'm glad you asked. So, again, with a 4-3, we know what this is, right? You got 4 defensive linemen, which even though our boy Preston Smith's standing up at this point before the rep, that's considered a defensive end, right? An edge, essentially. So you got a four defensive linemen, and then you got your 3 stack backers, right? That's your 4-3 look. When you're in an over front, you're shaded to the strong side of the formation. And this is the easiest way it was explained to me years ago. Over the tight end, over the strong side of the formation, or under the strong side of the formation. And that starts with the front 4. So if you're playing an over, you're shaded towards the strong side of the formation, right? And what that means is just focus on the 2 defensive tackles, and that'll tell you whether it's an over or under. So establish the strong side of the formation. This is the strong side of the formation, right? So where are your defensive linemen? Your 3 tech is on the strong side. Your 1 tech is on the weak side, or a 2I, closer to a 1, right? So you're playing over the strong side of the formation. Right. If it was the opposite, and this guy right here was playing a 1 tech, and this guy here was playing the 3, that would be called a 4-3 under. Okay. Now, some people will compile it with one of the linebackers being on the line of scrimmage. I was told, no. We're strictly talking about the front 4 and how they're playing the strong side of the formation. Are you playing over or are you playing under? Hopefully,
I wouldn't love an under right there, Clay, with the hat count it being. You know what I mean? You're going to have kind of 2 guys in the tight end able to split. So you'd be leaving a nice gap there where Carl Brooks or Devontae Wyatt is.
Yeah. And typically when you play an over, you're kind of what you're doing is you're playing a team that probably runs strong side. Right. You'll get a lot of what we call weak zone running teams. And you'll notice that sometimes you'll just play maybe even front, or you'll play an under front, knowing that they typically run to the weak side of the formation, which we ran a lot of weak side zone with Aaron Jones over the years. So that's the difference between an over and under there, Chase. Hopefully that answered your question, man. And again, you can talk to some coaches. Coach Lynn may look at it totally different. That's the way I've been taught, is always think just front 4, because they won't suggest or explain that an over is an over unless the Sam is on the line of scrimmage, right? And I've always been taught when one of the linebackers is on the line of scrimmage and you form a 5-man front, as long as the nose tackle is anything inside of 3-tech. We call that a jam front. Okay, so you got 5 on the line of scrimmage, 3 defensive linemen inside the tackles, essentially. So Coach Lynn says you're right on. Thank you, Coach. And again, I'm always going to kind of go back to that, like, hey, some people explain it differently. That's why when you hear terminology, both on offense and defense, coaches coach things up different. Like you can go to Pete Carroll's style of defense is what Jeff Hafley runs, right? And his cover 3 approach. And then you go listen to a Nick Saban coaching clinic and how he teaches his DB coaches with box and triangle, and you'll go, whoa, this sounds a lot different.
Right.
Both of them, quarters and cover 3 looks, but they've just got different teaching principles and different details within their schemes. So anyway, I thought this was a cool play here, though, against Mixon, man, because Mixon's a good running back, you know. LVN beats 2 blockers, really 3 if you include the puller, right, Emilio, like you were saying?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you start with the first tight end, get in his hip, push him off, and then you're splitting the puller. You're splitting a pulling guard and a tight end that are coming to, you know, pretty much take your head off.
Right.
And you just blow it up, man, really.
Yeah, so look right here. He beats the tight end, right? He's going to shove him over to the line, okay? Then 69's supposed to block him and set the edge. He slips under him. He absorbs the contact of the other pulling tight end.
Yep.
And then makes the tackle. That's what you call they literally had 3 hats on one. They had a +2 hat count on LVN, and he made the tackle.
And they thought they could get him with the flow one way, bring pullers the opposite, right, and catch him off guard. No, sir.
No. All right, here we are against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's Tim's.
Duval.
Been waiting for one of these. All right, so in this case, this is what you've seen a lot of last year. Kenny Clark playing the 2-eye to the 1-tech, right? Carl Brooks over here in the 3-tech, or you could call it a 4-eye. But again, Kenny playing the nose of the nickel, essentially, right? LVN in that wide 9 off to the left side from the offense's perspective. So they did a little orbit motion, a little chicanery. They're just going to hand this ball off on inside. And now watch LVN's athleticism. Watch the stride length. Guys, he lined up in a wide 9 left.
Did they not watch the Colts tape?
Exactly.
Because he literally just did that.
Isn't that wild? Like all the way across the formation to make the tackle.
Look at Kenny blowing up down the middle there.
With a bum toe.
Yeah,
seriously.
Kenny moving as fast as he can, and then LVN's 10 steps behind him and still gets there first.
And on top of that, give a little credit to Enikbari setting the edge, being able to one-arm the dude, extend, give yourself up. You have a free hand, turn him inside.
That's a great eye, Emilio. Great eye. For everybody on the pod that can't see this, Enikbari just doing the straight arm, locking the right arm out, look like how Gary does.
Yep.
And he's got his left arm free, ready to make the tackle and setting the edge. And that's what causes the hesitation. Yeah, that's a beautiful rep. Good eye there, man. And again, LVN just blowing it up.
And again, our 2 backers, Eric Wilson, Isaiah McDuffie. Come on now. This year's gonna be different.
Yeah. All right, LVN wide 9 here. Engaging with the tackle, fighting back to the inside, making the tackle.
Got a rip?
Yeah, it was a little rip move, wasn't it? Engage, hold your ground. Yep, rip.
Get off me, Sewell.
Get ready to go.
There you go. All right. Next rep. Let's see where we're lined up. So now we're back in the 6-tech, right? So here's a 4-3 look. Let's see if we can determine if it's over or under here, guys. So where's the strong side of the formation? All right, it's over here. So 1-tech weak, 3-tech strong. That is an over front, right? Over front. Let's watch LV on this rep. Inside, going to be a little toss play. Takes on the lead blocker. Shakes it. Makes a tackle.
With the hat count to that side, they're running what, a power eye left or power eye strong or whatever. And man, that first tight end should have chipped him. Give him a shot at least. Yep. He worked the fullback.
Yeah, you got kind of that H back in the backfield. He just, completely puts him on his. How many times have we seen that tonight on this reel here?
He gets his hands on him and he can shake him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just ragdolls him to the side.
I think it's slowly becoming evident that they're going to have to send help that way if LVN continues to develop the way he has.
Yep. And, it's easy to criticize Goody he was the 13th overall pick. I think everybody here would agree to this point, LVN has not lived up to the 13th overall pick. We all agree with that, right?
Right.
Yeah. So if Goody thought he was going to be, man, this guy's going to be as good as Gary, imagine the extra attention he's going to be warranting, right? To help free up Gary a little bit. You're not seeing Gary in a lot of these reps too. It's almost like they put LVN in when Gary came off the field. It's like they want to keep one of those two guys in. Maybe that's what we've been missing. Think about that for a second. We're talking about the rotation. Maybe it's they always want to have either Gary or LVN on the field at all times. And that's like, there's certain trigger points of the rotation. That might be it right there.
I like that.
Didn't even think about it.
Hopefully we see them both on the field this year.
Me, man, I'm telling you.
NASCAR package.
I want to see them both get 60%. That's what I want.
Yep.
And Brenton Cox Jr. right behind them with the next most reps for sure. All right. Next look, you got him here, 3-point stance. He's playing what I would consider a 6 to a 7 tech. This time, once again, strong side of the formation. How are we lined up? This time it's an under. You see it? You notice it? So strong side right here. Okay. So on the strong side of the formation is your 2-eye, and the weak side of the formation is your 3-tech. So this is what you would call an under, right? You're playing under the strong side of the formation. That makes sense. So let's watch LVN on this rep here. Left tackle got his eyes on him. See that stripe on the helmet? He's going, boy, got to watch it. Oh, we're going to pull. He faked him out. Look at LVN. All the way across the formation, man.
Look at Zane Anderson getting around the corner, too.
Yep.
Love it.
Zane.
It just hit me, too, that Jacksonville Jaguars clip that we watched him, where he came all the way across the formation. That was a 4th down, too.
Really?
Went for it on 4th down. I'm almost positive that was a 4th down snap. I specifically remember that last year.
So another clutch play in that game.
Yeah, definitely. So there you go, man. There's your LVN Chalk Talk breakdown. What do y'all think, boys? How are we feeling about it?
I'm excited for this year because we got the new D-line coach coming in. I think that's going to make a huge difference. Get him a couple different reps, give him different ideas, different moves, and let's go with him and Rashawn. Rashawn being healthy back. Was it 2 years now from his ACL? That's going to be exciting. I think Hafley can get pressure with 4. He's going to do it. If we can have 4 take off, or 4 out of the 6 or whatever, and we can just rotate them, I'm happy with it.
Yeah. AFM in the chat asks, I think Gary and LVN are too similar of players. He went on to say, you want speed and power on the edge, yin and yang. I don't see it that way, AFM. The big thing, especially when you're breaking down prospects and stuff leading into the draft, the people that I trust watching tape that are way better at it than me, they're always talking about you've got to be able to rush with power. If you can't rush with power, you will not play in the NFL. You will not be successful. All right. Now, you want to develop moves off of moves and things like that, absolutely. But I see LVN as a much quicker version of Rashawn Gary. And what I see with Rashawn Gary is someone who understands how to rush the passer better than LVN, like a more seasoned. Yeah. I see the similarities in them for sure, but I would much rather have 2 guys that can win with power as opposed to one that wins with power and one that wins with speed. Because you can – Mark Tauscher and Brian Balaga talk about this all the time. They said, I can handle you if you're a speed rusher. That's no problem. I can handle you. I can handle that. If you can beat me with power, I've got an issue. Right. Because at any point, you can go to the bag, to that power, and if I'm looking for a speed move, I'm screwed, right? So they would much rather face someone that's a little more technical and speedy as opposed to someone who can just drive right through you. And that's kind of the starting point, I think, of a good pass rusher.
So I also think you can create the pocket yourself. You know what I mean? Like you can get your hands on a guy, push him back. You collapse that well. You can, instead of just going around the outside, turning the corner, and then him stepping up. If you want to collapse it and close that stop, that step up lane, you have the ability to do that with power.
Yeah. Cody in the chat, good to see you, buddy. Says power can always be developed, speed can't. Power cannot be always developed. It can't. Like when you hear Greg Cosell talk about these prospects coming in, there were several of them. He's like, boy, this guy's got 3 and 4 pass rush moves. The problem is he cannot rush with power. He can't. You can't, you could try to get somebody in the weight room and make them stronger and try to develop a power move. Typically, when you come out of college, if you're not a power rusher by the end of your years in college, you're not all of a sudden going to develop power at the next level. It's something you've either got or you don't. It's almost like that natural ability that you're given, right? And you can say, well, speed's the same way, Clayton. Not everybody runs a 4.440 like James Pierce Jr. True, but a 4.440 is not going to make you a good speed rusher, right? It's foot speed, of course, right? It's getting one foot down after the other. But when you're a good speed rusher, there's a lot of things that come to it. It's the first step, yes, but it's the bend as well. And you've got to have 2 and 3 moves to work as a speed rusher. Because what will happen is if it's just strictly speed and they take the edge, which is you kind of see that in a little bit in Colin Oliver. You don't see a multitude of pass rush moves. All they're going to do is they're going to take that extra kick step and they're going to wash you right around the edge. Go back and watch Danny DeVito, as I always say. Tommy DeVito run all over us, right? We just kept rushing right up the field passing. That's what tackles will do. That's what Tauscher talks about too, is I'm just going to slap you in the shoulder pad a couple times and wash you right out of the play every time. Ed Madden, Oliver can give us speed situationally. LVN and Gary can turn the pocket into a fumble. I love that. Love it. Yep. And I, Carl Brooks, man, if you were to say, man, what was the biggest disappointment of 2024 for me? It's probably Carl Brooks, and it's not his fault. It's mine. I was coming into the season going, I think Carl Brooks is going to take a huge step in year 2 because he looked so good his rookie year, right. And he just took a huge step back.
But everybody did, right? Everybody did with Halfley's plan. So, I mean, you're asking him to do different things, and I think maybe you can open up the playbook now that you have a little bit more faith in the back end, or you think that, we can get pressure with 4.
Yeah. Chase Green said, I am worried about the D tackles keeping us a top 5 run defense than the edges. We have good backers to defense those outside runs. Got it. Yeah. I mean, we were real vocal the entire draft season. I was hoping they'd get one of those top 3 techs. I really was.
Walter Nolan.
Yeah. Because again, I'm one that you didn't hear us talking about edge a whole lot other than James Pierce Jr. because I thought the value was so great there that if he fell to the Packers, they should take him. Obviously, they've seen it otherwise. But I felt good about the defensive edge room. What I was worried about is compressing the pocket if you want to decide to get away from, hey, let's get away from that touch spy a little bit and really push the pocket. If Kenny is not the player he used to be, then you're going to have Wyatt who can do it, but Kenny can't. But then we find out about the toe, and it could be excuse. It could be. We'll find out, won't we? We're going to find out if Kenny can get back to kind of those 2 or 3 years that he had was really, really good. But, I still don't – more times than not, I'll have an opinion on stuff, and I'll look back 2 or 3 years later and go, damn, I got that wrong bad. It happens all the time. We get with Kenny when they signed him that contract, I was very anti, man, I don't like this signing. He just hasn't shown – he's worthy of that money, right? I hope he proves me wrong. Unfortunately, he did, up to this point. I can't imagine that someone who's been in the league for 10 years and he had 2 really good seasons out of those 10 years. And don't get me wrong, he's a pro's pro. He's somebody you want in the locker room. He's a team leader. The guys love him. They look up to him. He's leading film study in the defensive line room, all that stuff, having him over to his house and all that. Those are all great things, but I don't know. Do y'all disagree with that? Do y'all
no,
being too hard on him?
No, I don't. I don't disagree at all. But I think those things you just brought up about, kind of the veteran leadership and, the intangibles, so to speak, clearly that's valued a lot when it comes to Kenny Clark. And they're willing to overlook some of the underwhelming years that he's had on the field because I think what he does in the locker room behind the scenes with this defensive line group speaks volumes. And I think that may be why they may have, pulled the trigger on that deal. Because I don't think you're wrong at all, Clayton. Because if you look at the stats, you look at the tape, you just don't see it. But, it's all the other things that we as fans don't get to see. We don't get to see him on Monday nights bringing the boys over to the house and, ordering food and watching film and, being a mentor and, all those little things that go the extra mile. So clearly, there's some value when it comes to Kenny Clark, in that respect.
Something else you don't see either is after we got through the season, or a good portion of the season, we were calling out the touch spies, right?
Yeah.
We don't see the meetings behind doors where they're like, Kenny, man, let's put you on IR. And he's like, no, man, we shoot that thing up, talking about his foot.
Right.
And I can go out there and occupy a double team. Like, that carries a lot of weight.
And we
So
saw
you got to love a guy like that, right?
Yeah.
Pure grit. Like that's something that's, I think, in modern, not even just the NFL, but modern sports in general, man, you get guys taking off weeks or veteran rest or whatever you want to call it. And then you got guys like Kenny that's like, hey, if I can walk, I can play, give me the shot. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to engage in the two, right? He just laid a couple of them too. Just get you off the spot, man.
Yep. Coach Lynn says, I want defensive ends that can also play the run first and foremost. Amen. And to me, if you were to say, all right, you were to ask, what is LVN's strength? To me, it's the running game. Like we just showed you, there was far more clips of him playing the run and shedding multiple blockers to make the tackle, and it kind of feels like there was emphasis on that, in terms of the coaches and that that part of his game. But don't get me wrong, I want him to collapse the pocket too, but I'm with you, Coach. Like when you shut down a team's running game and you force them to beat you through the air, and you got Xavier McKinney back there patrolling, and you got Edgerrin Cooper scrape blitzing and things like that and attacking the flats, and I like your chances. I really do. Really, really do. There was somebody else in here that they had a comment. I can't remember if I marked it or not. But I think it was Solder that said it. If I can find it. Wasn't that one that's marked? It's probably on up. Somebody said, I want to give credit to whoever. Yeah, here we go. He said, there's a reason why they have a new defensive line coach. Yeah, it's something I keep forgetting about. This coach, and we done one of our most popular videos we done on the channel. If you guys want to go check it out, it's a really, really good write-up. It's Coach Covington's breakdown, right? You'll see it on if you scroll down on our YouTube homepage. It's one of the more popular videos. You'll see a picture of him on it. I keep forgetting about that because after we got through with that, I'm like, man, I'm really excited to see this dude just be a positional coach. That's what he's excelled at. Obviously he wasn't a good defensive coordinator his 1 year that he got a chance to do it, but really, really good.
You know what that means, though? If he didn't excel as a defensive coordinator, that's somebody that if you like what he's doing, you can get him locked in maybe for a couple of years without him worrying about, wanting to go up there. If, hey, it didn't work out for him, some people are just meant to be, a linebacker's D-line coach, whatever it is. You don't need to all be, DCs. If he loves it, then that's all that matters.
Yeah. H.E. Solder says that the Packers can play with the lead in big games. They have the tools to pressure top offenses. And that's what we've seen firsthand in Tennessee.
Yep.
Like they jumped up to a 2-score lead.
That was fun.
Yeah.
How many sacks did we get?
7, I think.
7 or 8? Come on, man.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I told Mandy we were sitting there watching the game, and I'm not sure where Emilio was at the time, but
I was right next to you. Come on now.
I was a couple Captain Morgan's deep.
You were sure where you were.
I looked at Mandy and I said, one more score and we could turn the dogs loose. Just one more score.
And he ran up the stairs and came back down with 2 Jack and Cokes in his hand. He said,
the slushy, the icy, the cherry icy. I'll never forget that, man. Your boy Clayton don't drink a lot. It's something that I'm very aware of. I'm very addiction runs in my family. It's just we come from a wild bunch. What can I say? So I'm very, very cautious with that. But that day we turned it loose, and I'll tell you, Tim, we got a lot of sauce in the system and didn't go to the restroom one time, but it was hot. It was 92 degrees out there. I smelled like a liquor cabinet.
I was going to say, you don't have to go to the restroom when you're sweating it all out all the time, right?
Yeah. And I'll tell you this too. If you guys don't believe me, go find it. Just type in on our channel, Packers Titans. All right. And you should be somewhere around there. It's the day after the game. Okay. So you'll see our post-game show. And then the very next episode will be the next morning in the hotel room, us doing the show. Your boy sounded rough.
Rough.
I hear in the comments, I see in the comments making stink of it, and I'm going, it ain't that bad. And I listen back on the way home. I went, whoa, that was ugly. Mama would not be proud. So
Miss Green called it out right here. Jack and Coke. Now you got to get those Green and Gold Rush drinks.
Oh yeah,
right? Dude, those things. Me and Caven, we just went off. We were like, all right, we're going to the bar. We grabbed 2, 4, some maybe 6. That was a good time.
That was Hinterland, right?
Yeah,
Shout out to
Hinterland. Yep.
Yeah.
I actually just went through those pictures. My phone just got destroyed, right? So I'm trying to airdrop them back over and across. Those pictures came right back up. I was like, dude, that was. I'm glad I saved them because great time. And yeah, those Gold Rush, man, that got us going Sunday. That got me going Sunday.
Tim, how underrated is Hinterland as a restaurant, man? That's a good little spot.
Extremely underrated, I think.
That pizza?
Yeah.
Dude, pizza was good. The cheese curds are the best. I'm sorry. I love 1919 Kitchen and Tap. I talk about their cheese curds all the time, but they got redheaded cheese curds at Hinterland. And I think they put paprika or something in it.
Yes.
God,
my favorite curds over that way are Hinterland and then Stadium View for sure. If you're near Lambeau. And, but yeah, man, off the chain. I think it's underrated because, you go into Hinterland, you get the atmosphere, right? They got the really nice seating areas. You got the fireplaces, good vibes. Perfect. But do not sleep on that Stonefire pizza. And
please do not.
Awesome.
Yeah. My favorite thing to do, we'll be going up in December this year. I'm almost positive. Mandy wants to go to the Vikings game in November, but I want to wait till December and go to the Bears game. But what we do is we stay all week up there, and we stay at Lodge Kohler. And one day out of the week, we will set aside 3 hours. We put the bibs on, we're all bundled up, and we go out there. We get us a cup of coffee, and we just sit by the ice skating ring and watch everybody bust their ass the whole time. It is, I'm telling you, it's better than anything on cable television.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get cold enough, you go in there, sit next to the fireplace in Hinterland, get you some food, ready to go, man.
Yep.
United Bates, parents and I love Hinterland. Pizza was great. It's a solid spot. Really,
absolutely.
If you guys have never been, let me just paint you a picture and we'll wrap up here. Hinterland, when you walk in, there's a fireplace at the end of each at each end of the room. It's like this big dining hall. I guess you call it a dining hall. The bar runs adjacent against the wall, and you've got those two huge fireplaces, right?
Yep.
It's right outside of the sledding hill. And when you walk in, man, it's just, what is it? A big moose in the corner, big stuffed moose. It's just, it feels like you walk into
like a Northwoods Lodge. For sure.
Right. Walk in on the left, you got the brewery stuff behind glass over there, and then it's got a second story you can go up to, kind of look down on everything. It's cool.
Go up to that second floor that most people don't know about. Clean bathroom up there.
That's actually, I did do that. No, you're right. I did do that. No line either. I
was like, where'd Emilio go? And I think Jordan said he went upstairs. I think he had to use the restroom. I gotta go.
That's important to remember too. On a game day or even game weekend, that Hinterland's going to fill up quick. For sure.
All right, this show sucks.
It does.
Not as much as the Bears, though.
Anything else, boys? Anything at all?
Nothing.
All right, let's get out of here. Appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys and gals were absolutely awesome. Hit that like button for us. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Check out some of the other content we got going out. Also, the best way to support what we do here is to join our Patreon group, patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access. However, if you're not familiar with Patreon, you just want to be a member here on YouTube, go ahead and hit that join tab. Get that done today. Everybody who's a member on YouTube and a member in our Patreon community will be entered into the giveaway. We're going to be putting everybody's name on the wheel, spinning it, and giving away an autographed Kingsley and Igbare rookie card. Really cool piece of memorabilia from our buddy Rick Kruger, who donated those to the show. We got a bunch of them coming up here too. This isn't going to be the only giveaway. We got a Luke